Whenever there is discussion about achievement and success, three questions arise. First, are there mental health issues involved in succeeding or achieving someone's goal? And the second, whether those people who have mental health issues or psychological problem are really mental disorders, can succeed, can achieve their goal. And if so, up to what extent they can function and achieve what they want to achieve. And the third question which arises is when someone becomes extremely successful and gets everything that they want, what happens to their mental health after that? Do they develop any mental disorder? Are they under psychological pressure? Do they again want to achieve more and more? Do they get addicted to becoming successful? And along with that, the problems which emerge. All these questions are extremely important and pertinent for our younger generation. The transition of society has given rise to a new set of problems. And these transitions are social, economic, and existential as well. So people have moved on to acquiring wealth, and they feel that wealth comes via certain achievement. They forget to distinguish between achievement and success, and therefore their goal is really not becoming successful, but achieving a target. So that's the difference basically between these two concepts, because there is really no consensus definition of success. It's entirely personal. Somebody defines success in achieving a target at whatever cost. Another person may decide that I want to succeed along with having peace of mind and joy of life. So the two sets of people are quite different, and their definition of success varies. Now the question arises in general for all three groups that how do they react to stressful situation? For example, as we know, stress tolerance and crossing a threshold of stress, that means their resiliency depends upon two main factors. First, the characteristics with which they are born. For example, the genetic characteristics. And the second, the problems they face in their environment, the social environment, cultural environment, and any other kind of social forces that they face, including economic difficulties. These two factors constitute human behavior, and particularly the stress tolerance capacity. These also build the risk for developing a mental disorder or psychological problem. So let's understand what is psychological problem when we move forward from health condition to a disease condition. For example, when a mental health state becomes a mental illness, something happens in between. And there are three phases again. First, those who are vulnerable, they may develop a problem and may not develop a problem. So there is a section of people who remain free from any kind of mental health issue. Then there are a subgroup who develop mild symptoms and live with it. These symptoms do not increase. It doesn't interfere in their achievement of life or success of life or functioning, becoming, performing the roles and duties in society. The other section, which remains at risk, develops some kind of symptoms which changes during the course of time. So for example, if 100 people have a at-risk situation, that means they are vulnerable, maybe 20 go on to develop a particular psychiatric disorder. Why I'm explaining this concept is that possibility of prevention lies across this spectrum. We cannot really control much of genetic component or hereditary component which are built up in human psychology or nature of human psyche. But it is the environmental condition where possibility of intervention exists. So we must understand how a disease process is built up and what happens during this condition. So if somebody wants to achieve their goal, works hard, is honest towards understanding their own self, and that person is at risk, likely problems of psychological nature coming up are high. We will discuss this aspect. It has been discussed in the first chapter of the book, Science of Success, which is going to be released next month.